The National League is calling Boreham Wood's name once again.
Scunthorpe are on the rise again. The iron is gleaming once more.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is the National League Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Harris, bringing to you another roundup of all the drama, news and excitements across the National Leagues. Today's special guest joins us all the way from Lancashire. Aidan Wilson, the club photographer for AFC Fylde in the National League North. Aidan, thanks for joining us. How's it all going?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good, how are you?
Yeah, getting there, yeah. Aidan, firstly, just tell us about yourself and your role at Fylde. What do you do? What does your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, so I'm one of two club photographers and I started just getting experience last season doing match days. So I messaged the media executive about coming to a game. I think first one was Southend at home last September. I came along, got asked if I can edit pitch side and stuff, do live edits, so doing the arrivals, warm-ups, etc. Yeah, had a good game that night. Won 2-1. Just a rare win last season, to be fair. And yeah, they were really impressed with what I'd done that night. So they allowed me to come and do more games. So throughout the season, when I had a chance, I'd come to Mill Farm, shoot the games, do all the same stuff, just editing, pitch side, shooting. And yeah, towards the end of the season, they wanted me on a more permanent basis. So they started paying me to do games towards the end, and then I've seen the new season. I've been carrying on doing more than just match days now. So doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, media days, kit launches, and all that.
How have you found that then? Because obviously that versus doing pitch side photography is obviously very different. How have you found that up against something like that?
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was a good opportunity, and it was the first time doing something like that, like media day, kit launches. I've really enjoyed the challenge. It was a good laugh, to be fair. We had all these kind of props for the players to use, and I think it was like a Irish hat. We had a lot of darts and stuff and a golf club. So it was a good laugh doing that. I had some lightsabers as well.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear about your journey through sports media. How have you gotten to this point so far?
Yeah, so January 2024, right at the end, I got a 70-200 lens, which is a good starting one for football photography. And once I got hold of that, I was looking out, relatively locally, trying to find a game I could maybe go and shoot. So I got in touch with Macclesfield because they had a Cheshire Cup game against Crewe. And with it not being such a high-profile game, it's not one that either team I don't think was really fussed about. I thought I'd probably be able to get in, and so I shot them a message and they let me come down and shoot a game, which is great. I mean, result-wise, I was focusing on Macclesfield. We got beat 5-2. But yeah, so since then it was just emailing clubs, mainly in the Northwest, just trying to get experience where I can. So I ended up doing games at Barrow, Fleetwood, did one at Lancaster as well. Yeah, and then eventually ended up at Fylde just the following season.
So how many different clubs have you worked with up to this point?
Quite a few, to be fair, but some more than others.
Yeah.
I'd say the main ones that I've done multiple games for: Fleetwood, Barrow, obviously Fylde. Did a away game for Barrow actually at Colchester, which was a fun experience. Plymouth Argyle was another one that I want to share connections with, and done a few away games. I actually had a job interview there last June.
Wow, yeah. Big club.
That was, only 6 months after starting football photography, so didn't quite have the experience they wanted, but they were really positive in the email we sent when, they were telling me that I didn't get the job.
Right.
And they were saying when we came up north and stuff, we'd be able to get in touch and maybe sort me out some games. So ended up doing a few aways up north. So I did Sheffield Wednesday.
Wow.
West Brom, Burnley, Leeds United, Sunderland. So some really good experience working in some proper football stadiums.
Yeah. Yeah, which in terms of the stadiums, which one have you been most impressed with that you've worked at?
I've worked at probably, I think, just as a football fan in general, one of my favourite grounds I've been to is probably in this country anyway, Hillsborough,
Hillsborough,
Sheffield
yeah.
Wednesday,
Yeah,
which was really good. Uh, Ellen Road was obviously great as well. The
yeah. Yeah,
interesting one was Turf Moor as a Blackburn fan going to Burnley and not being herded by police and stuff
well,
was
there you go. Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Wow, yeah. So you're a Blackburn fan. Is that where you grew up?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's where you're based. How far away is that from Fylde? Just as someone who has no idea.
So to Fylde, it's about 30-minute drive, forty
Okay.
minute on train. So it's an easy one to get to. To be
Yeah,
fair,
not bad at all, yeah. Have you always wanted to work in football, or is it something you just kind of fell into?
not well. A few years ago, been look when I started looking at uni. One of the courses I was looking at was sports journalism, and there was another one, football business and media at UCFB.
Yeah.
So initially it was, then started to get into like actual photography more, and not just outside of football. So I kind of started to venture away from looking at football courses and just look at like content creation courses. And then throughout that, I decided actually, do you know what, I want to do photography in football. So I kind of came back to the whole football thing and yeah, really tried working hard to get as many opportunities as I could in that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Did you
so
go to
now,
uni in the end?
yeah, I went to Manchester Metropolitan, did
Okay, yeah.
digital media and communications, which was it was all right. I picked it because it said it had a focus on content creation, which was true, but perhaps not. There's a lot more theory in there that I wanted,
Right.
really. So
Do you think that your university experience has helped you get where you are, or do you think it's a separate thing entirely?
uh, I mean, it's helped. I suppose it's good to be around people that are interested in similar stuff in content creation for a start. It can
Mm.
push you. I mean, a mate of mine on my course, he'd done photography work for like Phil Foden and various other names,
Wow.
which was kind of inspiring to hear. 'Cause,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I could be doing stuff like that hopefully at some point. And so yeah, it was good to an extent, but sometimes I wonder if I could have probably done without at
Right.
the
I
same
see. Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So, but yeah, but a lot
Yeah.
of
Sorry, go on.
no, I was just saying, I think a lot of the opportunities I've kind of created myself in my own time rather than opportunities I've got through uni.
So would you say that obviously, to make it, so to speak, in the field that me and you work in, do you not need a uni degree, or do you think it would help?
I think it helps. I think photography and video, I think, is more portfolio. So as long as you can show that you've done work, um, then yeah, fair enough. But obviously, like some people I know have done actual sports journalism courses, and the opportunities that they've managed to get from that have been brilliant. I mean,
Mm.
like another mate of mine's done sports journalism, and he's gone straight into a job that sort of takes him on traveling, doing like graphics for sports matches on TV.
Oh,
So
that's
even though
brilliant. Yeah.
it's not
Wow.
football photography, obviously, but you can get opportunities through these degrees, so it's a good option to go to.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
definitely.
it's not for everyone,
No,
I don't
I
think.
understand. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What are your sort of long-term aspirations and goals? So, you're working with Fylde now. Do you want to stay in club media? Do you want to venture into other things? What would you say 5, 10 years from now, where would you like to be?
It's a couple of options I'm open to be fair. Freelancing with clubs, and I mean, some people do work with players as well, so they'll do like match day videos for them and photo coverage. So working with players would be great, and obviously still work from time to time with clubs, purely as a freelance basis. But I'm open to full time roles as well. I think I spoke to you briefly just before we'd start recording about having a couple of interviews over the past year that haven't gone quite as well as I wanted, but shows you're on the right path and still looking out for opportunities in full time, but happy to keep freelancing.
Yeah, yeah. Now, obviously, now you're in your second season with Fylde. Um, could you single out for us your favourite memory so far? Is there one that sticks out to you?
There's been good moments. Obviously, like, I mean, last season was tough because the club got relegated through the National League. So, I mean, there were some decent games, but it was kind of overshadowed by being down at the bottom. I think this season's been obviously so much better. So there's been some great games. I think one was one standout game from the season, Southport away. I don't normally do the away games, but went to this one. Fylde had gone down to 10 players. But still, I think we went. I can't remember, but like Southport equalised in like the 92nd minute, so at 2-2, and we were just like typical in it.
Yeah,
We popped up 2 minutes later with a last minute winner over 10 men away in a localish derby.
yeah,
It's just absolute carnage. I was almost on the pitch myself. But
were you doing the
yes.
photography at that point?
Yeah.
Did you get any good shots of that one then?
Oh yeah. Because they ran for the winner. They ran my way,
Yeah, perfect.
and they'd circled round and headed to the bench. I've got some really good shots of
Yeah.
Daniel Ormerod, who scored, going to the bench and jumping on everyone, and yeah, it was just pure carnage.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I don't specifically do photography, but I've been asked to do some photography for Western before,
Yeah,
and there's nothing that annoys me more than when they score and they run the opposite way.
well,
I
that
don't know.
happened
I
the other
don't know
day
why they
actually.
do that. I don't know
We
why they do
played,
that.
yeah, we played Hereford the other day, and we'd scored in the 94th minute to make it 2-1.
Yeah,
And like I said before, we've got two photographers, and we were both kind of sat on the same side because usually they all come to the same side
yeah.
to celebrate. But there's one player who scored, he bolted straight to the other side. So we've got two photographers, a videographer on one side, and he's just scored a 95th minute winner and gone the other way.
Oh,
So
it's the worst, isn't it? It's the worst.
yeah, it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose as a player, if you're in that moment,
Yeah,
you don't think about, oh, where's the cameras, do you? Probably
yeah. It's
just
all heat of the moment stuff, in it. You kind of run
yeah.
in the first direction you think of.
Do you have any photo in your mind? Obviously, you know you wouldn't be able to show it, but in your mind, could you describe to us your favorite if photo you've ever taken? Do you have one?
From Fylde or just in
Yeah,
general.
well, it's football, I'd say.
All right. Well, I really like the one of I just talked about Southport. Daniel Ormerod had a proper um, good facial expression after scoring, and he kind of ran to my camera, and no one would be able to see me do this, but he's like that and
Yeah.
looked like he was screaming in enjoying. Yeah, I think the shots in that game are really good. Some of my favourite ones I've done.
Yeah, definitely. I think as a photographer, your probably favorite type of shots are probably the celebration photos, I'd imagine.
Yeah, to be honest, I quite like some of the portrait ones I've got, especially night games when you can kind of use the floodlights to your advantage. I've got some really good ones. Again, I won't be able to show, but where the players like kind of in front of a floodlight almost, and the lights like
Okay,
coming
yeah,
down on them,
yeah.
and they've got like proper serious sort of game face on.
Yeah. What's your
Yeah,
relationship like with some of the players? Do you talk to any of them?
yeah. I talk to not always. I only come in on match days really, but obviously when we've done the stuff like kit launches and media days, it's always gone well. We have something before match days where we get a couple of players to come meet the kids and sometimes strike up conversations with them. And yeah, I've had conversations as well on social media because they often message asking for photos,
Yeah, I'm
especially
sure.
if they've won the game. So but yeah, we're a good group to be fair.
Yeah. You do notice, don't you, when the team wins the game, you know, you got all the players messaging you saying, "Have you got any photos? Got any photos?" But if it's a 1-0 loss away at a team you probably should have beaten, you won't be
Yeah,
getting any messages usually.
yeah,
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah, no. So now let's move on to obviously Fylde, their start to the season. Just how impressed have you been with them so far, and what's your biggest takeaways so far this season?
yeah. It's been good. Obviously, I mentioned relegation last season, and that can be really tough on a team and they come down. And, they don't always start well, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
The relegation sort of weighs heavy on them. But yeah, so far, I mean, second in the league, joint with South Shields, game in hand. I think they've got a game in hand on us, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so far so good. There's been quite a few changes in the summer. Obviously, we got a new manager in. Craig Marn came in, an assistant manager, Alex Kenyon, and they changed a lot of the squad. A lot of players last season were kind of deemed not good enough. I think the chairman said at the end of the season in a statement that a lot of the players that they brought in for last season weren't really good enough, and they kind of held their hands up for that. So yeah, it took a while to get going, but we brought in a load of new players. Still a few from last season, but yeah, built a really good squad, and I think that's showing on the pitch.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously, you mentioned there, Craig has obviously come in and done a hell of a job this season so far. What do you like about his style of play, and how does that kind of differ from the previous manager?
Well, I mean, it seems much more sort of possession based. Just sort of patiently creating openings and getting the ball onto the wing, and then working way into the box, whether it be across and stuff. Um, it, it's just a lot more positive in that they want to get forward. Players aren't afraid to take shots on as well this season. We've had a few screamers from outside the box, which has been good. So just much more feels a lot more positive than last year.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Obviously, it has to be hard though. Obviously, being in and around the club when things aren't going so well, it's a lot different to when things are going well, isn't it? How did you and everybody sort of, the backroom staff and the media team, how did you guys deal with that last season?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do every game last season, so I wasn't around for all of them. But I know towards the end, because there were so many like managerial changes, so backroom staff was kind of down a bit. But as a media team, we had a great group. Traveling all over the country doing what we needed to do, and I think spirits were still high because we were quite happy with what we were putting out as a media team.
Yeah, yeah.
It's obviously difficult to know what to put out when you're relegated, when you're sort of on the verge of going down. But yeah, no, we had like a load of match highlight stuff and behind the scenes match day stuff that kept coming out. When we'd done well. Yeah, I think that's about all you can really do when you're struggling.
Yeah, it's also about like because it I for people who probably don't work in the media field, it is you probably do have to be a little bit careful of what you do post
Yeah,
and the sort of tone of how you post it and things like that. So
yeah,
obviously, but I mean for you as a photographer and a videographer, I suppose you're not the one who's putting it on the club website or the club social media,
yeah.
right? So I suppose you just send it through and then do you tell them which ones to choose and to post, or do they just go through them?
No, I just upload a decent bank during the game, so we've got stuff to use at half time, and midway through first half, they'll choose their favourites, and then after the game, we just put all the photos on Flickr,
Yeah.
so fans can go and view them, and that's how the players can get the photos as well. So
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, it's mostly the media team choosing what we put out.
Right. Obviously, as you said last season, maybe the signings last season didn't quite live up to expectation. But which of the new signings this season have impressed you the most?
There's quite a few. I mean, we've got some good experience in this year, so I think two signings that I can mention there are Danny Mayer and Ryan Colclough. Ryan Colclough coming down from Chesterfield, who played a lot of games last season, so a very experienced player.
Mm,
I think he played well over 30 games. He's banged in a few goals as well, so you can't complain about that. Danny Mayer's another one. He's I've heard him described around the club as a cheat code for National League North.
yeah, yeah.
He's played a couple of seasons at Fleetwood, and I believe he's been at Argyle as well for a while.
Mm,
And we got Luke Thomas is another one. So he's younger, but he was at Halifax last season. in the National League, and he's come to us. So he's got that experience playing in a higher league again.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's so crucial in the National League North. And he's had a tough time with some personal stuff going on, but yeah, he's been great this season. Good character.
Yeah, yeah.
Chipped in with a few goals and assists. So
What position does he play?
winger.
Okay. What, left or right, or kind of any?
Uh, he's more of a
Yeah.
right winger. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I suppose you need versatility though, don't you, at this level, right? There's,
yeah,
we
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I can only talk on behalf of me and what I've seen, but there is a player at Western called Jordan Bastin, who I couldn't tell you if he was a midfielder, a defender, a winger. I mean, he can play anywhere.
yeah,
Um, same with someone called Ollie Chamberlain. He's kind of just everywhere, you know. So yeah, versatile players at this level is so important, especially when you get to the sort of winter
100%.
months and the squad starts to get thinner with injuries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having someone that you can just slot in anywhere is just so important, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Right, let's move on now to a bit of English football history. This is a fun one, isn't it? 185 of Troy's finest fans made the 914-mile round trip to Gateshead last weekend. This journey now holds the record for the longest away trip in English football history. Wow. Your thoughts on this one, Aidan?
Yeah, I mean it's mental, isn't it? Like the journeys that football fans make, and obviously, I mean, Truro, it's literally down at the bottom in it, southwest. So yeah, fans going there, fair enough, fair dues.
Truro is the end of the world, man. It's just like right,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean,
right in the middle of nowhere.
I've done Plymouth from Blackburn a couple of times, but yeah,
Yeah,
Truro's
yeah.
obviously something else.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean 915 mile or 14, I think, but you know, that long for non-league football. It's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, you just love to see
yeah,
it. Yeah, it's yeah. I haven't seen anything. Obviously, it's the longest ever, right? But you know, for especially Truro having quite a bleak season so far,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
for 185 of their fans to think, yeah, let's go and do it. Also, after a few weeks ago, them having to play away at Carlisle, which is about 875 miles.
yeah, saw
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean,
that.
fair play to them.
I think they put some money behind the bar for him or something, didn't they?
Yes, I did see that.
To
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's like you say, all this long distance traveling. Is it going to have effect on their performances? They picked up 2 points away all season,
Yeah, yeah.
something like that. And sorry, go on.
No, no, it's no. Sorry, I was just pulling a face because I mean it is a problem. It is a
Yeah,
problem for Truro. You know,
I mean their closest away games are going to be like Yeovil.
Yeovil, which
It's
I
a
think was
280-mile round trip or something.
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
I don't know if they played them already away this season, but well,
Don't know.
yeah,
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it did actually seem to be an interesting game, didn't it? Actually, Truro were actually 2 goals up at half time, which is a bit of a shocker, with goals from Johnson Fisher and Alex Oxlade-Chambers' little brother Chris. I didn't know that before looking into it today. That
no, I didn't, I wasn't aware.
no, so that's a bit of football trivia there. So yeah, eventually Gateshead turned it around in the second half, earned a 2-2 draw. Yeah, I think it is an issue this season for Truro, who understandably have been affected by the ridiculous amount of travelling that they're having to do for this season for league games alone. So
Yeah,
I've researched Truro are actually expected to trek over 14,000 miles this season just for away league matches alone.
and
That's an
they've
out.
just,
Go on,
I
mate.
was just saying, they've just come up as well, haven't they? So
Yeah, yeah. So
it's
it's
always
tough.
going to be a difficult season, regardless of the travelling. And I think I was looking at their fixtures before, and it seems they've got, you know, obviously the schedule around Christmas particularly gets busy, the New Year, and they've got trips to Forest Green and Southend, which I suppose to them it would be like feel like a local game, but
Yeah,
they are still treks.
yeah, definitely. I mean,
They're in quick succession.
I mean, you know, that's an average of 608 miles per away day. And that's so. So that's obviously over 300 there and 300 back. I mean, if you're doing that, say you're playing twice a week, and
Yeah.
usually, obviously, sometimes you play two home games and then two away games, but if the idea is to play one away match a week, and you're doing 600 miles of journey on average each week, that's got to take a toll on the players' performances, their lives.
Yeah.
It is unlike anything we've seen before at this level, and it is certainly taking a toll of them as they
But
sit down in the relegation zone. But yeah,
yeah.
what are your thoughts on this?
I was just going to add the fact that, a lot of these players who, they're going to have part-time jobs as well. Well, maybe full-time jobs actually, to be fair, but they're going to have, busy schedules outside. And if they've got to constantly have overnight stays for away games, then, it's not just going to take a toll on perhaps the performances and, the fatigue when it comes to matches, but it's going to affect kind of the time that they maybe have with their families and,
Yeah,
and their friends as well. So,
yeah, it's a lot of things to take into consideration
yeah,
with
definitely.
with stuff like that, and obviously Truro coming up from the south last season. Yeah, they were one of the teams. I don't know if you saw this, but last season, I think it was on the final day, there was still four or five teams that could have won the league,
Mm,
and well, Truro ended up winning. Yeah, no, fair play to them. They went up automatically by winning the league. And to be fair, they were sort of unexpected winners. If you look at some of the teams still down in the south, you got Torquay, Dorking. I thought it was going to be one of them. Boreham Wood were up there for a while. You've even got
yeah,
Maidstone. You've even got Maidstone.
it's full of big clubs, isn't it? Really, the National League North and South these days.
Mm. And obviously the money that is in it now compared to what it used to be is
Yeah,
ridiculous, ridiculous.
anyway, I'm sure we'll get onto money at some point. To be fair,
Yeah, yeah,
that's one of the benefits of clubs like Fylde and South Shields have really National League North. So
Oh, is it? Yeah, I've heard someone say before that the thing about Shields is that they just have money. They just have the
yeah,
money for it. Do you think what's your opinion on that of someone obviously a lot closer to it than I am?
well, I mean, obviously money is always going to help, but at the same time, it's kind of how you use that money. So, Fylde went to National League, and Fylde are a well backed team financially. To be fair, I mean, if you've I don't know if you've seen the stadium, but
I
it's a
haven't
proper
actually, no.
proper setup with some solid facilities. Could pass through an EFL ground quite easily. To be fair,
Wow,
you,
really?
you look in the ground. There's like a hotel, there's a restaurant,
Yeah, yeah,
there's
really?
all sorts going on. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to I'm
all
gonna I'm
sorts.
gonna have to make a trip up at some point just to
Yeah,
just to see it, you know what I
it,
mean?
it is a good ground to come watch football.
Wow, I didn't know. To be fair, I don't know as much about the North as I would like to be fair.
Yeah,
So things like that kind of miss me a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
how do you think it compares a league like the North and the South to the National League? Because obviously there's a lot more money in the National League,
yeah,
and some of the National League teams could probably get away with being an EFL club in general, not even just by their stadium and their facilities, but even sometimes how they play and the players that they have there.
yeah,
It's kind of becoming. I had someone. I think. Yeah, forgive me. I've forgotten who it was, but someone who came on a podcast previously said that your standard National League team these days could get away with being a League Three.
yeah. I heard that one. To be fair, and I think you're right because some of the quality of clubs that we've had in National League recently, like we had obviously Notts County, massive club, we're down there, and yeah, just I mean, there's still big clubs in there like Halifax, former football league team, York City, Hartlepool, some serious clubs in there.
Yeah, you've
I
got
know
you've got
I know they're
Morecambe as
struggling, but
well.
yeah, I was going to say Morecambe, men. Obviously,
Yeah,
I know they're struggling, but yeah, there's some clubs in there that really should be in the football league, and
yeah.
see
I,
being
I
on.
I'd even probably make the argument for Forest Green as well. I think they're a lot bigger club than their sort of tier suggests.
Yeah, well, they're challenging, aren't they?
They are. They're doing
They
very
got
well.
playoffs last season, didn't
They
they?
did.
They didn't
Who did
quite
they
make
lose?
it.
They lost to Southend, I believe it was. I think it
Yeah,
was Southend on penalties.
yeah. Because it ended up being a. Cause I think Oldham beat like York, and Yeah,
The Oldham Southend final, wasn't it? I remember watching it on
yeah.
there.
I was photographing that. To be fair,
What at the final?
yeah. Yeah, so if you have a National League photography license, and you can apply to do the final, and from what I was seeing, it kind of seemed like they were just accepting anyone that applied. So I thought I'd have a go and managed to get in, and yeah,
So
it was a good experience.
you've done Wembley.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was a bit of a
you didn't mention that when we were talking about the stadiums.
yeah. Again, I kind of prefer some of the old school grounds.
Right.
That's part of the reason why I don't know why it didn't come to me mind. To be fair, but yeah, but it was frustrating because obviously he went to extra time, and there was 5 goals scored. I mean, it was a cracking game, but I decided to stay in one spot for the whole game
Right.
instead of moving around, which I sometimes do. Like at the end of an half, all 5 goals are scored at the opposite end.
Wow. That is
So,
annoying. Yeah.
but yeah, it was a cracking game to shoot, and again, it was a final with two big clubs that
Mm.
can easily pass for a League Two at least.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That must have been a great experience though. Just, the day out at Wembley with the media
Yeah,
pass and stuff like that.
and the atmosphere was unbelievable. I can't remember how many fans there were exactly, but part of me thinks there might have been a record attendance for a National League
It wouldn't
final.
surprise me. It was a massive game, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's obviously going to be really good for the portfolio as well, just to say, oh, I've done some shoots at Wembley.
Yeah, I got some good
Great.
ones at Trophy Lift. To be fair, 'cause,
Did you?
everyone can go around to the same spot, and
So you went on the Wembley pitch. You've been on the Wembley pitch.
yeah, they have a little bit where right before they come down on the pitch and lift the trophy, they let you in this little designated area, so
Okay, yeah.
you don't go like fully on, but there's one bit where everyone just sort of crams in and
Okay, I
tries to
see.
get good shots.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, now let's talk about the DAZN stuff. Obviously, this is fantastic news for the National League as a wider community, of course. DAZN have announced their plans for a festive campaign in which 12 games will be streamed on the weekend starting the 19th of December. The aim is to bring more exposure to non-league football over the festive period, giving fans more live action across the National League. The media coverage, obviously, for non-league has come on leaps and bounds over the last few years, hasn't it? So it is great to see it getting the traction it deserves, isn't it? Isn't it, Aidan? Because
Yeah, 100%.
it's becoming massive.
Yeah, so obviously it's a good initiative really to get some non-league football on telly. I mean, obviously, non-league's growing. It's getting more popular. More fans are starting to come to non-league just because the prices of Premier League's going up, for example, and Championship. I mean, Coventry recently charging £45 for tickets, and yeah, a lot of people starting to be priced out. And
Mm,
with the crackdown on legal streaming and stuff like that, more people. It's not really the working class game that it once was. So I think a lot of people now are sort of turning to non-league for football fix. And I know, my brother, he's not renewed his Blackburn season ticket this season just because he'd rather spend the money on other things, just, important things. Uh, but I know he's watched a bit of non-league football this season. He's gone to Southport a couple of times, been to Fylde, just getting his football fix through non-league. Still goes to Blackburn games every now and then. But yeah, so and hopefully what this will do with the 12 games of Christmas is get more people who perhaps don't normally watch non-league, get them watching it,
mm.
and then hopefully in the long term, if it, also if the games are good, then they might be prompted to come down and support their local.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's what it's all
Yeah,
about. Because and I think, if I'm honest, before I started work at Western about 18 months ago, I hadn't really watched non-league football. I never really went to watch Western-super-Mare, even though they're kind of sort
yeah,
of 15, 20 minutes down the road from me. I've always been a sort of Premier League EFL watcher, but since I've been involved with it, it is it's the place to be.
Yeah,
Not even just from the football perspective, which is really good to watch in itself, but in terms of the community aspect, you're a part of something kind of
definitely.
bigger than yourself, right? So it's lush. It's a great community to be a part of, especially smaller teams, that haven't got millions of followers. You feel like I know at Western after every game, the players will go and shake hands and talk to each and every one of the fans that have
Yeah,
come down at an away game, and some of these fans feel like they have a personal relationship with the players, which is lovely. And you're not going to get that with Arsenal or United or Liverpool, right?
yeah, 100%. I think, so I mentioned before, I think that I'd shot a game at Lancaster. They're a localish non-league team to me, not too far away. And I'd never been there before, but I kind of got that community feel. There was people there with their dogs and stuff, and I kept having conversations with people who were just kind of normal fans, but they had more involvement in actually running the club and stuff like that. And Lancaster are a team that really don't have the money, so I know they set up a few fundraisers and just to sort of keep the lights on, and fans would contribute to that. So I feel like fans can get a lot more involved in the local club
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you know what I mean in sort of that regard. Really support the club.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? It's lovely. I feel a part. I do some of the media, but I feel very a part of the club. And I know all the fans do as well, So, off the pitch, outside of the club, I know that some of the fans and the players they have friendships and bonds. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice. It's nice, and like I said, it's a different aspect of football that you aren't going to get in the big leagues. So, it's nice. It's definitely nice. Yeah.
yeah. If
Go on, mate. Yeah.
just talking about, Fylde have a sports bar, and sometimes you get players in there after the game. It's where everyone sort of congregates together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I some of the best footballing conversations I've ever had is in the bar after the game with the players and the fans, just with each other.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's lovely.
I know. I've said, like I said, I don't really do the away games, but I see a lot of videos from the away fixtures at Fylde. Fylde don't have a massive fan base, but even for non-league standards, but they are appreciated, and you
Mm,
can tell when the players go and spend a bit, you know, go over to the away end and applaud the fans at the end.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think bugging a few of the fans, so they clearly kind of recognise the ones that go regularly. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. There's some familiar faces every week, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on to the south, where Ebbsfleet have found themselves in a bit of bother, but it's an interesting one because is it entirely their fault? That's the question I'm trying to get at here. So, Ebbsfleet have been placed under a transfer embargo by the National League due to missing this month's HMRC payments. But why has this happened? Ebbsfleet announced that at the end of August, they had agreed a deal for new owners to take charge. However, the National League are still yet to approve their takeover, and this delay has meant neither the outgoing owner nor the potential owner have made the latest payments to the HMRC. So, from Ebbsfleet's perspective, it's the league's fault, right, for delaying their takeover. But from the league's perspective, they've got to find a way to pay their bills regardless. So I know that the current owners who are trying to get out have said, well, the new owner will just pick it up, and then the new owner has gone, well, I'm not the owner yet, so I'm not paying this. So it is a bit of a weird one. Quite a complex situation, Aidan. What do you make of this one? Have you read into this?
Yeah, I have a bit, and like I say, it's a complex one, isn't it? Because you're gonna have two two sides who don't think they should be paying because obviously one's losing their sort of share and they don't want to pay the new bill. The new owner may just think technically the takeover is not complete, so it's not their responsibility to pay for it.
Mm,
In terms of the actual transfer embargo, I feel like it does seem a bit of a weird situation because if it's been delayed because the National League haven't approved it, then maybe they should just sort of get on with it in a way and just get
Exactly.
that deal because it's been waiting. They've been waiting for it since August. So yeah, I think hopefully the league just get on with it and sort it. I don't think the actual ban itself is going to affect them too much, just because I believe Ed's fleet are operating with a 24-man squad anyway.
Yes, yeah.
So I think in the short term it shouldn't have an effect, but I think both sides will just be hoping that they can get it done and they can just move on and
Yeah, yeah. And I'm and
get the,
I'm
get the ban
sure
going.
I'm sure as soon as it's paid they'll just they'll lift
Yeah,
the embargo. So it's not a transfer embargo in the way that it
it's not going to
sounds.
last long. No,
No,
it shouldn't
it's
do anyway. But
no, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Yeah, it's because I feel a little bit for Ebbs Fleet, but I don't think that's entirely, someone's got to pay it, but I think it is harsh because they're like, well, come on,
yeah,
let's get it done. But I don't actually understand what the wait is either. I don't know if you've
no,
looked into
I've
that.
not. I did try looking into it, but I couldn't find anything
No, me neither.
regarding the
Because
delay. It just all it said was there was a delay, and
yeah, I think they're trying to work their way through it, but I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs or something like that. But
yeah, no, neither.
I mean, is there that much to do that it takes you 2, 3 months?
I wasn't know, but I think both parties, both former owner and new owner, will just hope that it can get resolved quickly, and maybe the club, the fans itself, will just want to, get past this point.
Yeah, because
Obviously, like you
they're
say,
not having a great time.
no, no, and what we obviously we get to the busier stages and we get into January and they want to start doing the business needs to be resolved by then. So hopefully it will just be over quick and they can get on.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that, and obviously hope that all works itself out very soon. But now looking ahead to this weekend, it is the FA Cup weekend for many teams in the three national leagues, particularly. Which fixtures are you most looking forward to, Aidan? Do you have any?
Yeah, I mean, I think the standout one is for me has got to be Hemel Hempstead away at Wigan. I think obviously
That is
Wigan
some tie.
Wigan having won the competition, I think that's massive for Hemel. So having just beat Yeovil as well, who were league above. It's obviously a big result. I know one of my mates was there, actually works down Hemel way. So yeah, he was there. So it was a really good day, and they've been treated to a big one.
Yeah, I mean that's some tie as well. There's a few others in there. Of course, I one that stood out for me was York traveling to Barnsley because I
Yeah, it's
mean
a bit of
that
Yorkshire
that
derby, isn't it?
yeah, I
Like,
mean that's perfect for them. I mean that's for York. I mean that is probably the one that they were looking at, thinking, yeah, let's have that.
and they travel well, York as well, so you can kind of
Mm,
expect a biggish away following for that one.
yeah,
So should
yeah,
be a good atmosphere and a day out for
yeah. I
those.
think that would be interesting, wouldn't it? There's
So
a few others as well. I'm really excited about Forest Green going to Luton.
yeah,
That to me screamed. That to me that just screams a cup set. To me, I just I might be wrong. And it won't be the first time I'm wrong. Won't be the last time I'm wrong. But something tells me that Forest Green are going to go to Luton and do it.
yeah. I mean, you never know with the FA Cup, do you? Really? I
You
mean,
don't. You don't.
I was just looking here. We were talking about Gateshead before. They've got a trip to AFC Wimbledon, which it's another long one, another
It's a
expensive one.
long one. It's
Day
a
out
long
for the
one.
fans.
Who pays for that, by the way? Like who? Like obviously the club has to pay for their players to get down there. But if you're like a lower league team like Truro or Gateshead, and you've
Yeah,
got to keep making these substantial trips, it's got to be quite tough on the financial side.
it is. Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't know who'd be paying for that, but like say a club of that size, they won't be getting much from gate receipts and stuff like that, and then you've got to fork out for long distance away trips, like you say.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we talk about overnight stays as well. You're paying out for hotels, so it's obviously not just a strain on the players themselves. To be fair,
Mm.
it's
Yeah, definitely. I think this weekend though there are some absolute corkers in there, and I got a feeling we are going to see a few upsets. Hopefully, a couple of non-league sides send the
Here we go.
EFL clubs back in.
Malden and Tiptree away at Port Vale?
Oh, say that again. Who's that?
Malden and Tiptree.
Is that? Oh, they must be.
I don't know what the league they're in, but
They're below tier six. So
yeah,
they must be. Yeah, they must be what
in the
Somerset
Southern Region.
Premier, something like that.
Yeah,
Malden
that's a
Tiptree. Yeah, some away for them, right?
yeah, and Gainsborough hosting Accrington as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, yeah. I think for teams like Malden Tiptree, like maybe Western or Fylde, you're gonna you're gonna want the away trip only because in the FA Cup they split the gate money.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
if you like, we went to Bristol Rovers last season in the first round, and that was the absolute dream draw for us, obviously, because Weston-super-Mare is probably about half an hour from
yeah,
Bristol. People, Weston's a town, and the closest city to Weston is Bristol. So it was, I mean, it's perfect, and I think the people inside the club were most excited that it was actually at Rovers because you're gonna get a lot more people at that ground than you are at Weston. So if you split the gates in half, it's a lot of money, and the FA Cup means a lot to the small teams.
yeah,
Obviously, you'll know.
yeah, 100%. I mean, well, unfortunately, Fylde aren't in the first round proper this time. We got knocked out uh, by Darlington, conceded a equaliser and lost a replay. But yeah, the FA Cup's obviously huge. I mean, there's that kind of dream, it's class when you see the pictures from FA Cup games at
Yeah,
non-league grounds and they've got all the foil FA Cup. Fans really dreaming, and obviously, there's no reason why these teams like Hemel Hempstead can't go to Wigan with, you know, a positive mindset. We can't get
yeah,
results because we've
definitely.
seen so many cut runs in the past. I mean, look at Tamworth last year. Beat Huddersfield and Burton, ended up getting a draw against Tottenham.
Mm,
Obviously, it weren't that
yeah,
long ago since Marine, got through the rounds and drew Tottenham at home. So yeah,
magic of the FA Cup, right?
I'm surprised. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you know, but I was looking on Flash Score when Hemel got Wigan, and normally it says if there's TV coverage on it, but it doesn't seem to say anything here.
I'm not
So I don't
sure
know
what the
if
selected games were actually.
I feel like a game like that should be televised just because it's Wigan are one of historically the bigger clubs maybe in this
Yeah,
round of
yeah,
competition, and it's massive for Hemel to go there. So obviously that's another thing about the FA Cup for these smaller teams is the TV money. If they can
yeah,
get
yeah.
into get some big draws in.
Okay, so here's the TV lineup for this weekend then. So Friday night, Luton versus Forest Green. Okay, fair enough. Then
Yeah,
you've got Chelmsford versus Braintree at 12 o'clock.
it's not a non-league affair in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You've got Brackley versus Notts County at 5:30. And
yeah.
then Sunday, Shields are on the telly. I don't know if you know that.
No, no, I didn't
So
know that.
South Shields, I've got a home tie on the telly against Shrewsbury. And then you've got Eastleigh Walsall. That's a good game. Weston's former manager Scott Bartlett, who's just headed to Eastleigh. Yeah, I've heard through the grapevine he's buzzing about that one because I mean, yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah, Walsall, big club going to Eastleigh, that'll be good. The
yeah. One
Malden
to
and
keep an eye out.
Tiptree Port Vale one is on the telly. That's at Sunday at 3 o'clock.
Do you know what? I might have to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, and then you've got Gainsborough Trinity and the Accrington Stanley. That's good. I'm glad that
Yeah,
one's being shown. So that's is that tier seven? Tier seven then getting a TNT.
yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah.
massive.
Gainsborough's.
That's
Would they
massive.
be Northern? I can't even think where Gainsborough is. To be fair. Oh,
I got no idea with you. I got no idea.
oh,
I mean, that's massive for them, right?
yes, it's a big one in it. Stanley are, you know, some argue they're punching above their weight, but they have been a long-term team in
Mm,
that EFL. So
hmm
yeah,
I know. So obviously, there's no FA Cup this weekend for your boys, But next week is the big one, isn't it?
South Shields.
South Shields, yeah, the two Titans collide, don't they? Your boys host South Shields, top of the table clash, first v second. Going to be absolute cinema, I'd imagine. How excited are you for this one?
Well, yeah, I've caused a bit of controversy amongst the media department, to be fair, because when the fixtures were announced, I decided to, because I was mostly doing like weekend games for me were the main ones because they have so much stuff going on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah.
And over the next couple of weeks, we don't have a Saturday home game in the league. So I have booked an holiday,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
won't be at
yeah.
the South Shields game,
Oh,
unfortunately.
goodness me.
I didn't, to be honest, I didn't really predict it was going to be such a big game, but
Nah.
it is obviously. It's going to be a tough one. South Shields obviously conceded just 6 goals in the league in the 13 games so far, so defensively they're a very solid team.
Mm.
I feel like obviously being the away side, I wonder if they'll. I don't know too much about their play style, but some part of me just wonders, are they going to come and try and defend and just get a point and sort of retain their top spot? But at the same time, it's they're only top in goal difference.
I've heard they're very they try and play a lot is what
Oh
I've
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
Ben
So
Marston from South Shields. I had him on podcast about a month ago, and
yeah,
he was saying that the style of play is just possession based. They try and really play. So yeah, but you never know. It
well,
might be a
I
more
feel
of a
like
tactical game plan.
yeah. I was going to say it sounds fairly similar to sort of how we've been, except we've leaked a few more goals.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I looked this up earlier. South Shields have one of the best defensive records in English football. Only Arsenal have conceded less goals than Shields across the top six tiers this season. I mean, that's crazy, right? I mean, only Arsenal, obviously, only conceding three in the Premier League is nuts. But Shields to only concede six. I mean, yeah. How do you think your players will be kind of looking to dent that, so to speak?
I mean, obviously it's going to be tough. Like I was saying about, you know, we've scored a lot of goals. We've also leaked quite a few, and South Shields have a good scoring records as well. They've had 26 so far, so it's not too bad. I think it's an interesting game. I'll say
It is.
that um, but I think we've definitely got the quality within the squad to do it. I
Mm,
think one of the big things this season is, there's been times where we've not been at our best, but we still come away with a point at
there you
least,
go.
or
There you
sometimes a
go.
win. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one for both sides. I don't want to predict how it's going to end, but obviously I'll be away and keeping a very close eye on it.
Yeah, yeah. Where are you heading?
Poland,
Where, sorry?
Poland.
Poland.
So I'm getting a few games out there as well. So
Oh, that's
going
brilliant, mate.
going Krakow, starting there, watching Shakhtar because Ukrainian teams are playing in Poland,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I've also just got a ticket for because we're moving on to Warsaw. I've got a ticket for Legia.
That's
So
brilliant. Isn't it? I mean, what a trip that is.
that
Are
was
you
it.
going with your pals or?
I do a mix of solo travel and going away with mates. So this
Mm,
time, uh, I am going on my ones.
mm.
I've tried to persuade a few people to come, but I think we're all talking about going Prague soon or something. So I think we're going to save for that. But
Yeah, yeah.
I think at this age, I've wanted to do a lot of traveling. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, mate, brilliant.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
should be cracking couple of games to
yeah,
watch. Really.
yeah. You'll have to post some of that online because
Oh,
that sounds
sure I
brilliant.
will.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Well, I'll be rooting for you guys next week, obviously, and I wish you all the best for the remainder of the season. Aidan, thank you
yeah.
so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on. You've been amazing. Really appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me on, and good luck with you know your work in future episodes.
Thanks, mate.